Hello, everybody. My name is Richard Vigorelli, and this is Vigorelli Institute. Now, I've got this little guy to review for you. Excellent movie, by the way, especially if you like Brooklyn caricatures. Anyway, moving on. So, my cousin Vinny is about two guys. They are, I would say, early to mid 20s. They're from Brooklyn. One is Italian, the other is Jewish, as you do. And they have recently been accepted to UCLA School of Medicine all the way out in Los Angeles from New York City. So they decide that they are going to go on a nationwide road trip before they get out there. They've patterned it out, and they're just going to kind of drive around and do their thing. Okay? So they get down to Alabama, and they stop in this gas station, a little small town. It's kind of got the Country Mart attached to it. They get some food, get some drinks, and hop back in the car. Well, a couple miles down the road, one guy, he is in the passenger seat. He reaches into his pocket and goes, "Oh no." The driver, played by Ralph Macchio, by the way, and I'm nothing like him, he says, "I got a can of tuna. We didn't pay for this. Like, we got to turn around and go back. Like, it's a can of tuna. Relax. Okay? It's not even that big of a deal. Okay? It's like 10 cents or something, which that'll tell you how old this is. By the way, I think it's 1992, 1993. Damn. Moving on. So, they're arguing about whether or not to turn around and take it back, and cops show up. Guy flips on his lights, starts on a siren, and he goes, uh-oh. So, pulls over, cop gets out of the car, pulls out a shotgun, and yells out, "Let me see your hands." Put their hands up, and hands there, slowly get out of the car, on the ground. He arrests them. They are apparently not told what they are under arrest for. We'll get to that in a minute. And we also never see them get their rights read. So they get taken to the county jail, and they get booked, and Ralph Macchio's character basically confesses to a crime. He thinks he's confessing to petty theft of canned fish. It's actually murder. So, in Alabama, penalty for manslaughter and premeditated murder, all that stuff, is the electric chair. So, it's going to go to trial, and when they're found convicted, they will be executed. Okay. So he calls his cousin up in Brooklyn. His cousin Vinny, played by Joe Pesci, and he comes down to defend them. Now, it took him 6 chances to pass the bar up in New York, and for some reason that gives him allowance to represent somebody in Alabama. Yeah. Now, he's brought his girlfriend along, the beautiful, heavenly Marissa Tomei. She is the Gen X equivalent of Sophia Loren, as far as I'm concerned. She is now in her 50s or 60s, and still woof. Oh, she's a goddess. I don't care what you have to say. Moving on. So, they're together. God only knows why. He's kind of an idiot. But they both know cars. She is a master at cars, which that will come in value later. And they have to figure out how to navigate Southern society with their New York casual sensibilities, brazen behavior, and so forth, in this Southern poor gentile-ism. Okay? And hilarity then ensues. So, what happens is they go through quite a few trial missteps. He gets found in contempt of court, I believe, 3 or 4 times. And bail just about bankrupts him. Okay. So thing with this small town is there's a sawmill that there's a motel just down the street from, so you get to hear the whistle at 3:45 a.m. There's a freight train that comes through at another place at, again, like 4:15. Wakes them right up, okay? And there's a hog farm in their third location that wakes them up because, hogs are going out to be slaughtered or fed or whatever it is. I don't know. I can't stand it. So he's not sleeping, so he's not doing very well in the case. So he figures out that if he's found in contempt of court, he'll be able to sleep because of prison riot. So, he is able to sleep, and he does resoundingly well in the full-on trial. Now, the witnesses are all character witnesses. They've been brought in and saying, yes, they've seen the guys, but the police don't do any deeper investigations. Okay, there's a lot of circumstances that can discredit their testimony. Okay, one old lady is basically blind. Another guy's got a bunch of crap in view, so, shadow of doubt type of thing. Okay, and another guy, he's not good at time. So we find, and what cinches that is the preparation of grits. Grits have to sit in hot water for a good 10-20 minutes, and then takes 5 minutes to actually cook them in fat to the point where, they're edible. Okay? So he says that he saw this happen from start to finish, meaning he got up, started prepping his grits and all of this, within 5 minutes. He saw the robbery and the murder. Okay? Because apparently the boys had murdered the shopkeep. I don't know if I mentioned that. Okay. So, Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei, their characters have a fight, and she storms off. He drags her back into the courtroom later and gets her to testify. Okay. That the boys are definitely not the ones, because there's absolutely no way that the car described could do what the car allegedly did. Okay. And she gets cross-examined, basically makes this FBI guy that's called in look like an idiot because he doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay, which, fair enough. So, thanks to Marissa, the boys are free from the electric chair. Everybody's happy. Hooray. And Joe Pesci and Marissa Tomei drive off back to New York and get married. Everybody lives happily ever after. So let's look at this, shall we? All right, so first of all, when you are arrested, and this is a federal law, first of all, you have to be told what you are being arrested for. Okay, now having a weapon turned on you, if you are suspected of being dangerous, yeah, that's perfectly fine. Okay, but they have to tell you you are under arrest for whatever it is. Okay, second of all, they have to read you your Miranda rights. Okay, which are you are under arrest for X, you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you are unable to afford an attorney, one will be provided for you by the state. Do you understand your rights as I have read them to you? That is federally mandated. Okay, go ahead and look that up. Okay, that does not happen here. Okay, now we're just kind of supposed to law over it. Like, hey, we're not going to show that, but technically speaking, that county unlawfully arrested these two boys and charged them with something they could not possibly have done, and then just kind of rode on through it. Well, that's the South. Here's the interesting part. The judge here is like hardcore by the book, yet he kind of goes along with it. In fact, he rakes Joe Pesci's character over not wearing a proper suit, not addressing the court properly, not following full-on parliamentary legal procedure in the United States. I mean, this guy is a lawyer. He should know how to conduct himself. And the way they glaze over that in the script is, well, they just teach you like contracts and how to do stuff, like in the back room and all that, how to do research and so forth. They don't teach you actually how to work in a trial. Okay? Oh, and by the way, in order to get permission to actually practice in Alabama, he lies to the judge, says he's this other guy, almost gets busted several times. Yeah. Yeah, that's called perjury, and it actually nullifies the entire trial. So, yeah, the whole thing is, legally speaking, a mess. Okay? But my cousin Vinny, as far as being a legal comedy/drama, I think it's excellent. Okay, not just because of Marissa Tomei, but also as depiction of two completely different cultures within the exact same country and how they can come to a consensus once they understand each other. Okay? Remember, if you want to understand somebody, talk with them. Not to, not at, with. Things get better. Okay? So, that is about all I have to say about that. If you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment, please. Thank you. I will be back with something else later. And if you could, feel free to visit my website, vimandvigorelli.com. I've got lots of merchandise up there, got books, other stuff. Go ahead and check that out. And give me a follow on Twitter. Boy, handle is in the description. So I will be back later. You take care. Bye-bye.